Good afternoon, everyone watching us right now. This is the eSailing World Championship Semi-Final B. I am Oscar, your host, and with me is Alberto. Alberto, how are you doing?
Hello, Oscar. I'm doing amazing. I'm really excited to be here and to commentate this amazing semi-final beat that is going on today.
Yep, so we already had the Semi-Final A happening last night, where we had the second five, I'm going to say, qualify for the Grand Final. We already had Aquila and Tila qualifying before the Semi-Final. And with Semi-Final A, we had Chico, we had Farley, we had Alex K, who else did we have? So we had Alex K, Aquila, so already qualified, Chico, Ramon, Farley, and Kazuki. Kazuki dominating that semi-final A. And we saw that, well, 4 of these 5 were already qualified before the medal race at the end. We're going to see if we're going to have a repeat of this kind of situation with semi-final B over here. This is 10 seconds till the start, till they can cross the start line for the first race in this series of 7 races in total. 40 players in 49er in this upwind very long course, and a false start for Fun Yuko as I say that. Any names that we should be wary of in this fleet?
So over here we have Azir, that is the current world champion. We have Harder, that I believe he was in the Olympics games, if I do not remember bad.
That is correct.
We have Lorenzo, 42 from the last final. But also we have the rise of underdogs with Vari and Ame, that they never attended one of the major events, that are here to show how it's done.
Yep, so a lot of big names, a lot of underdogs that we can expect the unexpected from, as you say. Obviously the favorites are going to be those who already qualify for these type of events, but we can't hope enough for these underdogs to qualify as well. You took the example of Vari over here. Used to play without all the race helps, just a select few. He was imposed all the race helps for this final, so we'll see how he fares with this. Another name that we can mention, currently leading the leaderboard according to the ranking on the left and alone on his side of the fleet, is Korikoi from Finland. Who I don't think attended any major. Well, he attended the challenge finals, but didn't manage to go past that yet. So definitely someone that we need to look out for.
Absolutely, and it will be really strange here because we have a boat that actually go well with bigger wind. That's why all the fleet is in the middle. But Kolikoi is looking for no tack, no slowing down. Even if it's a little bit less wind, it's fine. It's going 8.8 knots at the moment, while, for example, VAR is going 10.5, so 2 knots of difference. Not many maneuver from the Polish guy, and I believe the 3 in the front will be Vari, Lorenzo, and GR7. Let's see in which order.
Let's see. So it is, of course, slightly different that you might be used to. So it's changed to an upwind very long. We're gonna name it. So longer than the upwind long that you're used to in the game, but shorter than the match race course. So it still has the offset mark at the top and the gate at the bottom, to give more space to this bigger fleet of 40 players. And Galapo over here is showing his support for Vari, the Polish sailor. We already had 2 Polish sailor, I believe it was yesterday in semi-final A. I think we have 3 in this one, with Vari, Lajefa GBA, and Shiloh Finn.
Yeah. I believe Vari, because it's Varizoda, the shortened from Varizoda, his name.
Yep.
So, not very, because he's like very, very happy. But he is doing an amazing race in the first race. ONC Kolikoing is leading the race with Lorenzo in 3rd position.
So Kolikoi saw something that the others didn't see, choosing to go and stay on the left side of the course alone, and it paid off for him. And Moritz in the chat, hi Alberto and Oscar, good luck to all. Thank you. We're not going to need it. It's going to be the sailors mostly who will need that. and showing his support for Legefa GBA. I think Legefa GBA is our first female to qualify for a semi-final in the eSailing World Championship.
Mm-hmm.
Through the normal means, I mean.
Yeah. And we are actually looking to see what she could perform in this 40 fleet races. That is, it's always really difficult to know what's happening. To be honest, we have a lot of players that are already people who attended finals, major finals. So like Green Nine, we have Pepito, we have Azir. So, we have underdogs. We have newcomers. We have stars that already shine. So in that way, we are fully ready for an amazing regatta to see today. At the moment, we can continue to see ONC Kolikoi in the lead, but I believe Lorenzo and Vari are fighting for the second position. Look at the cross. Not sure if you were...
We saw it at the top of the screen over here, the cross between 42 and Vari.
Yeah. And it will be an interesting battle until the end between those two, because they're both fighting. Not sure if it's worth it, because
yeah, it's gonna be
still the first race. Yeah,
4 races of 40 players first. So between second and third, unless you're missing a race, is not going to change that much. I believe we rarely see someone qualify just by 1 point difference.
Yeah.
So we'll see their choice if they're gonna keep fighting or if they're gonna leave each other alone and just do their race.
Mm-hmm.
So 4 races of 40 players for the qualifier series. That are going to be in 49er, Ilka, Nakra 17, and J70. And then we're moving on to the Gold Series with 2 races of fleets of 20. So we're taking the top 20 after the first 4 races to continue on in the next series of 2 races in Offshore Racer and Star. And then once the Gold Series are over, we're going to head over to a medal race worth double the points with the top 10 only in an F50.
So I believe there is a wind shift coming, a massive wind shift coming, because the leaderboard, at least for me, is changing a little. Can you tell me what the leaderboard said for you?
So on the stream's screen, we're still seeing Vari first, 42 second, KGR third, Acer fourth, Knud fifth, and Kodiko dropped down to 7th.
Exactly. And let's see what's happening with the wind shift on the right, because I do not believe that Koligoi is dropping on 7th. Because yes, there is a massive wind shift from the right that will going to help. Exactly, that will going to definitely help Vari and Lorenzo to get a better position. But I do not believe that Kolikoi will lose so many positions in that race.
Yeah, well, the whole fleet is going to have the starboard advantage on Kolikoi if they manage to cross path with him. So he's going to either have to tack or sail under. Vari is the first one to reach the ley line and tacking just over it. Lorenzo 42 decided to do the same.
A little bit earlier.
And is it going to be a cross with Kolikoi? Yes, Kolikoi is forced to tack over.
Also, there is a left wing shift probably coming. Not sure if Vari is actually over the ley line. He is actually right now over the ley line, but I'm not sure if it will continue. If the left wing shift is coming, probably he do not have a chance to do that. There is a fight between Kolikoi and Lorenzo. Kolikoi is slowly laughing up. Lorenzo is slowly respond to that. I believe we should see accurately the battle between Kolikoi and Lorenzo, and then...
Yep.
Yeah.
They're separating a bit. Kolikoi deciding to tack under 42, passing in front of Acer and Jer 7, leaving second place to 42.
Yep. And see the battle between Jer 7 and Azir. Azir passed Jer 7 with probably a couple of... millimeters between the two boats. And actually, Lorenzo right now has the opportunity to hoist the kite slightly before the Finnish guy. At the moment, Finnish guy is going almost half a knot faster than the Italian. They both see the big puff coming. Even behind Azir and Ger7 and KGR have seen that. Nice battle between French, German, and Japan for the 4th position. And I believe Vari get lead, and Kolikoi and not sure. What do you think? Is Vari keeping the lead now?
We're gonna zoom out and try to find them.
Because right now Vari is going 17 knots, 19 knots for both Lorenzo and Kolikoi. They're in the best wind at the moment. And they should continue straight like Lorenzo is doing. Amazing choice by the Italian going to the puffier wind. Kolikoi going to cover Vari, but not leaving Lorenzo alone. Seeing Lorenzo flying at 20 knots, Vari upwind of both of them. This is a tricky moment for the top 3. Ooh, let's see it from the top, I believe is the best way. We have Lorenzo in the lead, Vari 2nd position, 3rd one for Kolikoi. I believe this will be a tough one nearby the...
Very tough. Lorenzo looks like to make
finish.
It 1st. Kolikoi 2nd, Vari's going to be 3rd. If we concentrate at the back of the fleet, we're going to be watching Green 9 over here, the Greek sailor, who's been part of several eSailing World Championship Grand Finals, several Olympic Esport, the Olympic Esport Final as well. So we'll have a look at the scoreboard at the end. And looks like Jeff at GBA is the one who's going to be
closing the
crossing, closing the fleet over here. And this is race 1 of today's semi-final B. So as usual, we're going to be entering the scores. We're going to ask the players to join the next arena, and I'm going to leave you with Alberto to speak about whatever the hell he wants to speak about.
Thank you. I can guarantee you next race will be super interesting. Massive right wing shift is coming, so people will start to look at it. And at the moment, everybody is looking to start in the race committee. All the fleet is over there. There will be a tight match to get that position and try to win this 2nd race. We have the updated result. Thanks for the amazing roster that we have. I want to tell you that the first race who missed it was Hawk Guy, but he is here for the 2nd race. 38 seconds to the start, a massive right wing shift is coming. Fleet is starting to spreading, even if he is still concentrated in the first part nearby the race committee. Also, a lot of players are moving to the left, even player with a lot of know-how about the game. 13 seconds to the start. Some players are going away from the traffic just to make sure that they have a clean start. 3, 2, 1. I will say a couple of people starting early. I believe it was Tommy Tumble and the Green 9. And we have in the first position, we have actually 5 or 6 boats that are aligned. We are starting to develop in 2 groups. Hi, Oscar. Have you seen the start from the 2nd race?
So I was putting the screen for the viewers, but I was not looking at it. Still looking at some stuff in the background. So yeah, what can you tell me about the start? I see Shai Dauphin. Well, actually, it's just changing as I say his name. Looks like Asir is in a pretty good spot in the middle of the fleet, slightly ahead of everyone. And Yuko, the red boat next to him as well. Sorry, that's Krug, that's not Yuko.
I know it's difficult right now to understand who is going to take the lead because a massive right wing shift on the right. Left wing shift is coming from the left. The shape of the wind puff. It's really tricky, and this one will be super difficult for the players to understand where to go.
Yep. Don't know if you've spoken a bit about the Ilka boat. Quite different from the 49er that we had just before.
Yeah,
in
you
this,
can go.
With this upwind medium. So Ilka boat, obviously an Olympic class. We've seen a lot. Well, we've seen this boat a lot during this year in various competition, whether it's the eSailing World Championship, the Paris 2024 Inshore Cup, or I think we also saw it during the One Provence Challenge. Slow in the upwind, good in the downwind, where it'll go a bit faster, and it has a very efficient wind shadow. So most of the technique, most of the tactics and battles are going to be happening on the downwind, compared to the 49er where it was in the upwind.
Yep.
You don't necessarily need to aim for the darker spots. It's not going to have a huge difference in the upwind, at least. But definitely, you're going to have to try to trap your opponents in your wind shadow to catch up on the downwind. And obviously, well, if there is a shift that is way better than the other, you should try to take this one.
Yeah.
And Stefano Bonatti showing his support for 42 Lorenzo, the Italian player.
Yeah, Stefano Bonatti was actually a player from yesterday's semifinal with the nickname Charizard. Yep. And he didn't make it. Sorry to have seen that he didn't make it. Let's try new and next regattas that we are going to organize. At the moment, we have KGR and Carlos Parejo in the lead. KGR taking the first position, pushing Carlos Parejo out. Azir here getting a penalty from Krug getting a penalty. Krug hit the mark, and Azir getting the penalty from Krug.
Azir is not penalized. It's Krug who got penalized.
Okay.
So taking third place from Krug, and it's going to be KGR leading the downwind in this first downwind out of two. It's going to be another upwind and another downwind to the finish line. And looks like KGR might be free of any wind shadows, deciding to steer away, get on the left side of the ley lines that you see. These are the dotted lines that are pointing towards the mark. It's the most direct path to the mark with the wind at the mark. And well, these first four players decided to spread out a bit and not put the others into the wind shadows.
Yep.
See that they've did this sort of triangle over here. None of them are being slowed down. And I think
top three are not even battling here. Yeah, they're happy with the position they have, and
I think you're going to have a bit of a gap between this top five and the remainder of the fleet.
Yep.
Three of them decided to go onto port tack directly when rounding the mark, where Fun, KGR, and Krug decided to wait a bit before tacking onto port.
Hey, it's difficult because port wind shift is coming, so people should go starboard all the way to the left. But it's also a no wind shift, so difficult to say if it's worth it to go or not. And if everybody's going, then you will have traffic. The kind of tricky stuff that you need to avoid to make sure that you're going to achieve the best result you could.
Yep. And a question we haven't asked the chat yet. Those of you watching us right now, who is the underdog that you'd like to see in the final five at the end? Question we like asking Obviously, we have the favorites with the likes of Acer, KGR, or even Carlos. But what's a name that you might not expect, but who could definitely make it into the top 5? And I see Ace Golem over here saying Furan. From.
So do you want to start with a death kiss, right?
I'm asking the people in the chat. I'm not going to say any names myself.
Okay.
Furan from Sweden is over here in 9th position.
Actually, I would be loving to have someone from the Panam area to qualify.
Yep. Well, in the chat we have Mallorca supporting Vari, and Milena Sailing obviously supporting Scheidlo Finn, and Maurice showing his support again for La Jeffa GBA. So Polish are the favorite underdogs, I'm gonna say.
Yep. But we already have a Polish in the final, so.
Yeah.
Want to make sure that we have I'm aiming for the biggest diversity possible of player and
yeah, we do have.
And
a Polish
obviously
with,
all at the best skill level. Yeah.
Yep. And Caio Gerasi. I don't speak Brazilian, unfortunately, but I'm out. But you guys will make it, showing the support for Goody and Harder, the 2 Brazilians. But I don't know if they have a nickname in the. Searching. Nice to see you there, searching. Don't know if they have a nickname in the community, Goody and Harder, but they know each other very well in real life. Harder being Goody's sailing instructor in real life, so.
Yeah.
They know each other well, and looks like we have the same 5 for this last downwind, so we said there might be a gap between these first 5 and the remainder of the fleet. KGR looks like is going to maintain his lead. Carlos Parejo is a second, but close behind it is Acer, who might have some issues with crude right next to him and slightly behind.
Yeah, I believe he didn't like the penalty from the first mark.
Well, there's still
but
neck and neck, you know.
Yeah, exactly. If I am Krug, I would be happy of the 4th position. You finish 23rd. That 1 point will not decide if you're going in or not, probably. Actually, we have Slido Finn over there that is really good. We have KGR that definitely is going to take the lead of the game of this race. We have Carlos Parejo that after a 30 finished second is a good result, so getting probably in the top 15. Sorry, Azir actually getting just behind the KGR in this final, and probably after that would be Zlaidlo Finn, if I do not mistaken.
Yep, and searching saying that if he would have qualified and they make it as well, it would have been 3 Brazilians from the same city qualifying.
Yeah.
Apparently searching was a good and harder. Come from the same area in Brazil, and Moritz also showing his support for Carlos, arriving second in this race. Meanwhile, Harder is going to take the 20th place, and Oliver and Jer 7 are struggling at the back of the fleet, with Tommy Tamble also behind them, and I think Tommy Tamble is going to be the one closing the march.
Knut in 3rd position with 12 points, Slido Finn with 17 points, and Lirk with 19 points. These are the top 5 that at the moment they are virtually qualified for the final. It's too early to call, but you never know, you know. If we are going to check, we have from the winner from the previous race. The second race was a 29, so Lorenzo is coming with 30 points in 11th position. From the first race, we have Vari with a third position, and now is 32, so 35 points in total. And ONC Kolikoi in sixth position with a second and an 18. Remember, after 4 races, top 20 will move on to the Gold Fleet. At the moment, the difference between the 20 and the 21st is only 3 points, so that one will make it super amazing. I'm really looking forward to see what's going to happen.
Yep, and I'm back. So with the results on the side of your screen right now, so you can have a reference for it for race number 3 in the Nakra 17. And Shiko saying that Acer is a beast as always. I think it's going to be Shiko. It's going to be Acer and KGR right now. KGR with a 4-1, so 5 points, and Acer 6-3. Definitely starting very strong. And Nikosh saying hi to you, Alberto. And 3 seconds to start.
Can you commentate, because
Yeah. So we have. Let's have at the top view over here. Split separating into those going on to the left over here, where it seems like you might have a path with more pressure with the darker colors, so might be able to go faster. And side going on the right over here, going into the more the lighter colors, so therefore going a bit slower, but might be more interesting in terms of shifts.
Yeah.
So
do you want to
between speed
explain
and
what
shifts, but,
Julifra and Schleg are doing?
Julifra and Schleg, let's have a look at theirs. So I'm going to assume that they were, so we just saw Schleg doing one of this maneuver. You will see him go towards the wind slightly and then going back into best VMG, and that's to climb up a bit more onto the upwind, trying to gain some meters. And the Nakra 17 is one of the boats that can do that, because it's very light, it's very agile, and it can go quite fast. So you can try to do these types of maneuvers to gain some meters and not lose too much speed. Obviously, this wouldn't work with the Ilka, for example, where you're going to be slowed down too much if you try to do that. But I don't know what the technical term for that is in English, or even in French, actually.
Is luffing up.
Luffing up?
Yeah.
Well, there you have it. And you see Schleg doing that a lot. It is very early for him in the States. Currently, I think
he's from LA, so
yeah, close to 5 a.m. or something like that.
Yeah.
So yep, and Clem BFC showing the support for Von Pigeon and Trap Oliver. So I'll see his teammates.
Yeah. Finally, we are seeing Pepito in the head of the race, because after a 28 and a 22 is not looking great for him. After he qualified, I believe, for 2 finals. One definitely in Trieste, probably even 2021. So, at the moment he's not doing great. Instead, Jose Godi and Lorenzo are here in the lead. Lorenzo, you see, he loves fast boat.
Yep.
Winning the 49er, now in a good position for the Nakras. Jose Godi instead he started with a 21, now an 11, and finally a good match from the Brazilian. Von Pigeon, same thing, started good with a fast boat with a 9 position, really bad 24 in the second race. And right now
look who we
is
see in
third
the top
position.
10 as well. It's going to be like Jeff at GBA from Poland.
Ooh, that would be so cool to see La Jefa qualifying for the final via this method. It is definitely a game changer after that.
Yep. Meanwhile, Acera dropped down to 20th in this race.
So the death gets worse.
KGR in 17th, so both of them in the middle of the fleet. And
Yeah.
it's going to be those who are currently in the middle of the ranking making it into the top of the fleet. So it's going to be possibly a bit of reshuffle.
Even a 15 position will still be ahead of most of the people in the race. So I think with the strong start that KGR had, he is this. We can consider like his discard, even if they are not discard in this race.
And I see Farley again supporting his teammate Von Pigeon from GBR over here. Von Pigeon in third in this race, and overall he was 14th. So the aim in these first 4 races is obviously to be in the top 20, to be able to continue on to the Gold Series, and then be in the top 10 to continue on to the medal race, and then obviously finish in the top 5 to qualify for the grand final.
Yep.
And we have a small gap between first and third with 7-point difference, but with the fleets of 40, it's actually not that much. And as we saw KGR down to 15, and Knud is 31st. So our current top 3 are struggling in this race.
Yeah. It's with the 40 players fleet, we will see a lot of, as we saw yesterday, we see a lot of reshuffling.
Yep.
And then when the thing is closer, when we're going to the gold fleet and to the medal fleet, they are fighting for the few points available, but I think it's super fun in this way.
Yeah, meanwhile, spectating Green 9 from Greece over here. Overall 19th and 35th in this race. Looks like he had 15 in the 49er and 21st in the Ilka.
Yeah. And there is a lot of people that qualify early in the year, do not play as often, like for example he used to. And I remember him always playing like 90 races per challenge. He thought without training he will be good enough, and we can see that you still need to train a really, really high level. You need to participate to a lot of the competition with a big number of sailors to make sure you keep yourself up to the pace of the top, to make sure you can go back to
especially in these kind of formats, because your technique, well, your tactics and your strategies are going to change a lot between fleets of 40, fleets of 20, and fleets of 10s. It's not going to be the same kind of race, so obviously you can be very good in smaller fleets but struggle in bigger fleets, and vice versa. And as we say that, it's going to be Lorenzo, Josecodi, and Von Pigeon, and we're pretty safe into 1, 2, 3 position.
Yep.
With Johannes Bansen being chased by Pepito right behind him, and Harder slightly on the side. Harder currently in front of Josecodi in the overall standings by 4 points only.
Yep.
And Josecodi is going to likely finish second.
Yeah, so congratulations.
To catch up to him, no, they won't.
Congratulations to Lorenzo, second win in 3 races.
That is huge.
Well done to Josecodi. And then we have Harder, Von Pigeon, Pepito, Bansen, Furan, Movimento 5 Nodi, La Jefa in 9th position, Trap Olivier, Lirk, Krug, Vari, Pablo Baez. A nice finish between KGR and Amos, Carlos Parejo, Cavan Fiance, Tommy Tumble, Fanyuko, Schleg, Dustboat, Julie Fra, Vegas, Svagaya, Iwario, Kolikoi, KUC. Oh, this one is a mess.
Yeah.
Azir
I'm
finished?
gonna wait for the finish 35th in the ranking, in the race ranking, and if we confirm it, will be.
That's painful.
Right now, it's going to be 34th for Acer.
Still pretty painful.
Yep. So we're going to tally up the scores. This was race number 3 in Knockout 17 for the qualifier series. It's going to be race number 4, the last one in the qualifier series in J70.
Yep.
And after race number 4, we're going to have some protests with some hearings. So depending on how
probably
fast
we are going to take
they're dealt
a
with.
small break.
Yep. And I'm back with the scoreboard updated. Quick look at the chat as Sarah missed the finish. Flying Boss had seen a pen start. Danelaw is in here as well. And Vid Farley asking the important questions. Who do you think are going to be the top 5 of this fleet? Currently, KGR is in first position. Well, maintaining his first position. And we've had a reshuffle completely for the second, third, and so on. So Lyric in second overall with 30 points, 42 in third overall with 31 points. Harder and Jose Godi fourth and fifth with 32 and 34 points. Jose Godi tied with Movimento Cinco Nodi for sixth position at 34 points. Bond Pigeon 7 with 36, Krug 8th with 39 points, and Amos with 42 points in ninth, and Acer dropped down from second to 10th with 43 points. So still in the top 20, still in the race. Obviously, the goal is to stay in the top 20. Better yet, in the top 10, just to be in a more comfortable position when the medal race arrives. And well, race number 4 start signal has been given for the J70. So this is the last race of the qualifier series. So the last chance for the players to get to 55 points. This is the 20th place held by Pepito, Johannes, and Schlegg. And after that, we're going to be dealing with a couple of protests, I think, now.
Hello, Oscar.
And there we have it. Hey, Alberto, glad to see you're back.
What's happened?
I don't know. It's fine with me.
Okay. I think I was moved. Not sure.
10 seconds to start. Most of the players near the committee boat over here.
Oh.
And
Who are the first one to the right here? Johannes Bansen in a really good position with GER7. Azer is a little bit...
Azer is in a sandwich between
traffic.
Carlos and
Yeah.
Harder. Can't really go either to the left or to the right. He's stuck in this position. Well, if you choose one side, it's going to end up in a penalty for someone. And yeah, asking people watching us right now, name us 5 players that you think will be the 5 to get to the grand final from this fleet. You have the ranking on the right side of your screen for the current top 20.
Even right now, it's really tough to say who is going to win.
Yeah, that's why we can't really jinx it yet.
Yeah, I can see Azir really, really good. Just joking. At the moment, we have the fleet that is trying to understand where the wind shift is coming from. The wind shift is coming from early from the right-hand side of the racing area, and then in the later part on the left-hand side. So that's why, for example, Phil Matey at the moment is in a really, really tricky position, because he can be first or last depending on when the puffs are coming. And ONC Kolikoi is in the same position. If he can cross in front of Von Pigeon, would be great for him. Also, Tommy Tumble and Movimento Cinque Nodi are really close over there, attacking in front of ONC Kolikoi. Amos Di Benedetto crossing in front of, I believe, Pablo Baez. Azir in a great position, so the right wing shift was really good. And Carlos Parejo trying to get the left hand side of the racing area. Right now is a tough things to understand. Is are you going to check the position that is safer, but you will be covered on the upwind, or you're checking? It's really difficult to understand what is the best tactic, especially if you're not the first one. Oh, look at the left wing shift, and that put Azir probably in the lead with KUYC. Let's see if the Japanese can break the overlap with Azir and having the right of way. Having the right of way over Parejo and Azir. Parejo taking the second position. Phil Matey tried to sneak in. Penalty for Phil Matey. There was not enough space.
Phil Matey is good to see him in here because he was struggling for the first 3 races, 35, 36, and 38 for the first 3 races. So having a top 5 placement would definitely be nice to see. Obviously, I don't think it's going to be enough to put him in the top 20 because he currently stands at 109 points.
But definitely this one is a good moment for KUC because he was like
KUYC. Yep, he was 23rd overall with 64 points.
Yeah.
So 9 points behind the 20th position.
Yeah, and that way he's catching up a lot of points, even if his finish in top 5 is good for him. So where do we lost Lorenzo?
Lorenzo,
second to last.
42 is 33rd in the standings over here.
Yeah, he's looking to... I'm just checking because with the 2 victories before, it's like...
Yeah, so that's going to put him to... well, if he stays 37th now, that's going to be 68 in total.
Yeah, but look, he's going to a puff that he is the only one who has.
Yep.
The other one aren't like...
He does have Trap Oliver right behind him, which could be a nuisance if he puts him in the wind shadow.
Yeah, but over the other side
on
also
the other
they
side,
have
there's everyone else on the other side. Will 42 be able to climb up the ranking ladder with this choice of going to the left instead of the right? He is in a darker zone, so he should be going faster if he manages to catch the wind. And we do see him boost up the ranking, going from 37th now to 25th, 24th. So it definitely made him climb up a bit
how many
in the rankings. That was definitely a good choice. I don't know where he was before this.
He was 37, now he's 12.
So great choice from him. That is, he managed to read the
my
wind
God.
very well over here. And meanwhile, at the top of the ranking, it is still KUYC with Carlos and Ame and Acer in the mix.
Also, Phil Matey is there fighting, so I'm super happy for the Danish player. And also, Ame was not performing really well. He was 67 point, 20, 14, 33. So he is 12 point behind qualification. I believe this one probably will get him a position in the gold fleet. But
Yep, it's going to be hard to say because we have 2 protests lodged so far. So if these protests end up in some redress givens, that might be that might reshuffle a bit, and that might change who is in the top 20 and who isn't.
Absolutely. Do we have more information about the protest?
So we have
like
a protest lodged by.
Said that?
We have a protest lodged by Ame and a protest lodged by Carlos Parejo.
Okay.
For different reasons. So once the protest has been dealt with, we will talk about them and share with you the outcome of these protests.
Yeah, absolutely. At the moment, we're still saying Carlos Parejo in second position, just behind KUYC. That I believe is a yacht club because there are a lot of KUYC boats with a different serial number. Ame in 4th position. Checking the people from the top.
Yeah, the YC could
Lirk?
be for Yacht Club.
Yeah.
Is
What
Yacht
about Lirk? Lirk is the right name? How do you pronounce?
Lyric. Well, it's actually the name Cyril, but spelled
Okay.
backwards.
Cyril, nice. Okay, thank you for that one. But he's second to last. So good information. Bad timing for that one. So here we have a cross between 42 Schleg and Johannes Bansen, where 42 Lorenzo is getting the 9th position, 10th position for
And we
Amos Di
see,
Benedetto,
and we
11th
see
for
Cody Coy in the top 10 again.
Movimento Cinque Nodi.
Cody Coy back in the top 10 again. He
Oh
was
my god.
second in the first race. Currently 13th overall with 47 points. Had a bit of a... Went a bit downhill then for race 2 and 3, 18 and 27. Now in number 8. That's definitely gonna put him in a more comfortable position for within the top 20, maybe closer to the top 10 for the races after that.
And you see, also Carlos Parejo in second position now. 15 overall before with 32, 17, 1. If he finished like this. So definitely not constant.
17, yeah. That's going to be, well, he is one of those who lodged a protest. So depending for which race it was a protest, I believe it was for the first race that he's protesting.
Okay.
That might cut off a lot of points.
Yeah, especially because he performed really, really well for the other 3 races. So. Third position for Azir, then we have Ame finishing with Iwario, with Ame in the lead. Then we have Harder and Phil Matey 6th and 7th. Then we have Kolikoi, try to finish, he is finishing in front of Lorenzo. Well done to the Finnish player, then Lorenzo from Italy, then there is Amos Di Benedetto in front of Schleg. Then there is a fight between Movimento Cinque Nodi and the Brazilian Jose Codi, Pepino, Johannes Banzer, Pepito. Look how many are coming right now. Massive race over here, and Tommy Tumble get a penalty and finish second to last, I believe. No, we're still missing Yuko and Das Boat are still finishing the race. Sorry about that. I believe there is also a disconnection.
And looks like Yuko is going to cross first, and we finished with 38 players, so we did have a disconnection from one player. We're going to see who that is. It's not even a disconnection, it's just someone not showing up.
Okay.
We started the race with 38 instead of 39. So we're going to enter the scores. We're going to see how the protests turn out. Might be very quick, might take a bit sometimes. We'll let you know. We'll show you the score before the protests. We'll talk about the score before the protests, and then once the protests have been dealt with, we're going to update the ranking if redress has been given. And we'll talk about that when that happens.
First out is Lydlofin with a 29 and a 30 in the last 2 races. Definitely out. Kavan Fiance with 29, 7, 18, 23, 77 points is out. Ivario is out. Pablo Baez out. Jer7, La Jefa, Pepino, Vegas, Grain 9, Julifra, Trapolivia, Gaia, Das Boat, Phil Matey. Even with one last amazing race, he finished like second to last all the other performance. Better than Tommy Tumble, Yuko, Jinsu Luke, Aima, and Zwede Sailor.
Oh, I'm back.
Yep.
Shiko,
so I believe that
yeah, go for it.
No, you go for it. Sorry.
I was just gonna reading the chat. Chico showing his support for Carlos Parejo finishing first in that last race, and Vitridevsky. I'm sorry if I'm butchering your name, but nice to see you here. Yep. So this is the temporary leaderboard before protests have been dealt with. So Harder first overall, Lorenzo second overall, Sir third with 46, tied with Movimento Cinque Nodi. I don't think I would have expected Movimento Cinque Nodi to be in the top 5, to be fair, but that is great. Great to see and great for him. Jose Godin fifth with 47.
Can I stop you 1 second? Sorry.
Go for it.
We have a message from the protest committee says that we can start to give a role to the God Fleet because they will change only the point that we'll have in the next one. So if we want to get ready everything, once they finish, we can start the next race.
Okay, so protests won't affect the standings.
Yeah.
We're going to continue on, as Alberto said, with the Gold Series, as the protests affects people that are already in the Gold Series, so they're already qualified for this fleet. So we can move on without updating the scores yet. Obviously, if there is Regis, the scores will be updated because that might affect the top 10 later on. But we are... Well, the join instructions have been sent. The race is going to be... Well, the first warning signal is going to be given in 3 minutes at quarter past. And well, Sweet Sailor supporting his Swedish teammate with Furan, who made it 20th. So with 74 points overall, he is 2 points behind Vari, 19th, and yeah, so nice to see him here. He's definitely, I think, one of the underdogs, and looks like the protest committee is actually asking us to delay the race because several of the players are still in the protest. I think KGR is going to perform well because he's, usually pretty consistent. And if I need to pick a second name, I like to pick an underdog that I think Kolikoi can do good.
I think I want to pick an underdog, and I want to pick Ame.
Ame could definitely be good. And Maradoni is saying that Pigeon is going to make a late run for the top 5.
Mm-hmm.
Von Pigeon is currently 15th overall with 69 points. Nice. So that's just 8 points behind the top 10. So it can definitely make it. And behind the top 5, that's 22 points behind. So a bit harder to get in 3 races. But there is a middle race that counts double. And 15 seconds to start. Most of the boats again on the committee side of the line. We do have the pink boats on the left over here. That's likely going to be either Acer, Pepito, or Ame. And I think that was Pepito with a false start. We mentioned it before with the bowsprit. Be careful with the bowsprit for the starts. That regularly happens. And Sweet Sailor saying, give him hell, Vari. And Vari has had a more difficult start compared to the other sailors. Currently last in the second, how would you say, like the second wave of boats.
Yeah. I can see on your screen on the bottom right, there is Lorenzo over there. What do you think his position with a massive right wind shift coming?
Well, Lorenzo always seems to do these kind of decisions. Well, he'll be alone on one side, and then suddenly he's going to climb up the rankings, and it's going to play out for him. So maybe that'll work out for him. He's on starboard compared to, so he has a starboard advantage on the other boats. So if they arrive more or less at the same time, they're either going to have to tack or sail under. And with this shift coming in, maybe he sails a bit too much over the ley line. Depending on how the wind will then shift again. If it's going to shift back, it might be good for Lorenzo. Otherwise, Sarah is in a pretty good spot currently.
Do you think it's better Azir or Schleg?
I think Asir. I think I would prefer being in a Nasir spot because he can still try to make it to the mark. Schleg is gonna have to double tack to round the mark, and that's gonna slow him down.
Yeah, but he has.
And he manages to tack just behind Acer over here.
Yeah. And give a penalty to Von Pigeon.
And give a penalty. Was it Von Pigeon?
Yeah.
Yep.
Amazing rounding of the mark here. Even here is really difficult to predict who is going where. At the moment, Azir is going 11.4 with Harder 11.2. Lorenzo is going away because KGR was covering him.
Harder is almost 2 knots slower than Azir. Okay, well, as I say that, not anymore, but he was.
Yeah, but it's because KGR is fighting with him. And there should be like a puff, like where Lorenzo is trying to stay in that puff. I know you're focusing on Azir at the moment, but Lorenzo is there to try to catch that position over Von Pigeon. But probably is going to split with Harder. It's a bad position for Lorenzo that is going to lose a couple of positions now.
Yeah, with the mark, he's gonna have to give room to the others on the inside. And well, Acer and Schleg are both onto the upwind, the second upwind before the last downwind to the finish line.
Yeah.
Acer
I believe that this one is an easy win for Acer.
Right away as well. They're seeing the wind coming in with pressure.
Go to the back. Look at the people who are in the lead, and right now in the game are like Jose Godi.
Jose Godi is 5th overall with 47 points and is currently 17th in this fleet.
And Movimento 5 Nodi and Amos Di Benedetto are close with him.
Yep, so that's going to shuffle again. That's going to confirm Acer in the top of the leaderboard. Yeah. And that's also going to confirm it for Carlos and Harder. But 42, where he's at, 42 is in 7th position, but from basically 4th to 4, 5, 6 maybe is going to have a reshuffle.
Yeah.
And Acer and Schleg are both getting to the mark over here first to round it. And I think it's going to be easy sailing for them. Maybe Carlos can put a bit of wind shadow, but I think they're gonna spread out.
Yeah.
Or decide to follow each other in the straight line over here. Not putting each other into the wind shadow, just following the guy in front of them, or the boat in front of them.
How did Lorenzo get the 5th position here? He gets like the Harder and Knud in one jibe, and you see the wind shift is so massive they do not even have to jibe. It's almost a straight line to the finishing line, with Azir in the lead, a 2nd position for Schleg, and 3rd position for Carlos Parejo, 4th position for Lyric, 5th for Lorenzo, Knud, and Harder. Do you see any other battles that maybe will change?
I think
maybe Schleg will be passed by Carlos. Not sure.
I don't think so.
Look.
No.
No, it's fine.
I think up to at least to 10th point, I don't think we're going to see a shift in the rankings. We might see it with like after 10 where boats are closer to each other. Especially if there's a penalty coming in, maybe between Pepito and Johannes. Pepito
so we have
trying to fake the jibe, and Johannes putting a penalty on him. So Johannes is going to take the position from Pepito, and Pepito is going to end up 1 place behind. Meanwhile,
fifth
Movimento
position.
Cinquenori is going to finish not last. That's going to go for Veri and Ame. And well, standings for race number 1 in the Gold Series.
And so 42 in the lead. The second position for Harder. Third position for Azir. Fourth position for Carlos Parejo. Fifth position for Jose Godi. At the moment, seems to be a two-way for Brazil, and two French qualified like Alex Kowalski and Azir. Two Spanish qualified, both Parejo, and one Italian, but is not finished yet. Fifth position is on 61 points. 62 for KGR, 64 for Kolekoiv, 64 also for Movimento Cinque Nodi, 66 for Lirk, and 67 for Amos Di Benedetto. But also, he's not safe, because the next race is saying that the top 10 are going to the medal race. So even Schlegg with 68 points, Knut, Von Pigeon, and Krug are really, really close to that. I have to say that mathematically, Amos Di 87 is not a mathematical. The mathematical out are Ame and Vari. The one not mathematical, but they are really almost out, is Pepito and Furan. At least one of them. And even they have a tough life, KUC and Johannes Bunsen. So in that way, we are looking for an exciting last Gold Fleet race.
Yep, thank you for that. So yeah, so just gonna reply to the chat and the questions that I see over there with Sweet Sailor and Dade Law discussing about what we saw in the ranking for the last race. No worries, this is just a spectator thing. Their scores have been accurately put up, so Sarah was first for that. And well, as Alberto was explaining with the overall ranking, give us a pretty good rundown of it. It's going to be 20 seconds for the start of this race in the Star for the last race of the Gold Series, or the last opportunity for players to reach the top 10. You have the ranking on the right for to do your maths. How scoring works is you give the number of points. Well, the number of points you get is your position. So if you get first, you get 1 point. You get second, you get 2 points. And that's how it works. So top 10 into the medal race at the end of this race if no protests have been lodged yet. Hopefully we keep it that way so we can smoothly go into the medal race after this race.
So at the moment, not a great start both for Vari, but he's already out, and Krug. At the moment, we have a group of 8 sailors that are competing for the first position. And it's really hard to understand because seems a right wing shift is coming, but I'm not 100% about it. Carlos Parejo with a penalty.
And he's going to take a second one right here. Did not move away to leave Krug some space. This is rule number 10, so starboard has the advantage over port. So if you have a starboard board coming towards you, you're either going to have to tack like Carlos just did, or sail under and let that starboard board pass and continue on their course.
You know, if he's finishing that bad, like in the last 3 positions, there is a high risk that he do not qualify in the top 10.
Yep.
At the moment,
say while you were commentating about who the top 5 currently are, and doing the comparison that Ramon, I think, is the elder brother of the 2 of them, already qualified.
Okay.
I think so. I might be completely wrong. Purely speculative. I know they're brothers, but I don't know which one is the elder. But it would be fun to see these 2 from the same family in the grand final. Unfortunately, Carlos is going to have to do better than 14th to give himself a real chance to stay in the top 5 until the end. Sarah's going to be the first one to reach the mark and round it.
And what do you think
followed by
about
Pepito.
Godi and Harder at the moment?
Repeat that.
Harder and Jose Godi.
Harder with 45 points, tied with 42 in the overall standings, and Jose Godi with 61 points. So that's 14 points off, something like that. No, 16 points.
Yeah,
and they are struggling with this race, so we're gonna likely have another reshuffle of the rankings.
Yeah.
In the standings, and Moritz asking me to please not name Carlos. I'm gonna give him bad luck. I apologize for that. I will not be mentioning this player anymore.
Yeah, he already won championship. He's fine. So at the moment we are seeing Schleg in a great position.
Yep, Schleg is
in
just
second position.
Yeah, just outside of the top 10 with 68 points. So that's 1 point behind Amos at 67 in 10th position. So arriving second is definitely gonna, well, put him in the top 10 over here.
Yep. And after that, we need to understand who is not going to be in.
Yep. So let's maybe focus on the positive instead to not jinx.
It's fine.
and AC Fines over here showing his support for Pigeon. Was it No, I think it was Maradoni saying that Pigeon was going to make a run for the top 5 in the last races, and currently second according to the ranking on the left.
Yep.
And in the overall standing, Von Pigeon is 13th, so out of the top 10 with 77 points, but just 10 points behind Amos in 10th. So he is doing what he can do to stay in the top 10, and then it's all a matter of where those in the top 10 finish.
Yeah. It's really strange to see Ame in the lead, getting one of the best position, as he did not perform well the whole day except the J70 race. And even if he is going to win, it's not going to be enough to reach the medal race, and definitely not enough to reach the final.
Yeah, and the medal race is going to be very fast-paced. It's going to be completely different to what we're seeing here. So we're obviously dividing the fleet by 2, so it's not 20 but 10 boats, and it's going to be the F50 with an average of 24 knots on the course. So it should be a lot quicker, and reflexes and quick thinking is probably going to take over.
But it will be a 5-minute race. So
I got sidetracked because I just had a thunder. I don't know if you hear it here in the stream, but starting pouring down just suddenly at my place over here.
Oh,
Sir is first, Von Pigeon second, and Schleg in third.
Is it enough for Van Pigeon to go in?
Well, Von
That
Pigeon
is the
is
most
second, so you add
important
2 points to his, so that's going to bring him to 79 points.
Yeah.
Where is
That means
Amos?
that he has
Amos is
12
at
points
15.
from Amos. Yeah.
Amos is currently 15, so it's all going to depend on when Amos finishes. So if you want to show your support for Von Pigeon in the chat, just send out the bird emoji that I've seen several times. Spam that bird emoji to show your support for Von Pigeon over here.
What is the emoji for Von Pigeon?
I don't know, they're putting out the red bird emoji.
Okay.
And AC Fine saying that Pigeon has already won. This is just for show.
And what about Kolikoi?
And I see someone has disconnected. 19 players.
Ooh.
Either they believe that they didn't make it and then continue to choose to not continue, or it was an unfortunate disconnection. I don't know who at the moment it was.
Or Pepito maybe.
For this store. No, Pepito is 7th.
7th. Bansen? No. KUC? Nope.
There.
Krug? Krug. Yeah.
Fortunate for Krug.
So we
was
have the
14%
Schleg
rate
actually
points.
finishing first.
And we're gonna watch the
No,
front.
sorry, Azer
and Von
first.
Pigeon actually is gonna go into third, right behind Schleg, and 42 is gonna it's gonna finish in fourth position. Then it's gonna be it's not gonna be Pipito, it's gonna be Lyric and Ame.
Then Pepito.
With Pepito in seventh.
Oh,
Back
and
over
now
here,
look
we
at
have
the
a-
block of
yeah,
Sailor
Big
here.
block coming over here.
Oh, Amos and I believe KGR fighting for that position with Amos out of the games.
And it was indeed Krug who got disconnected at some point during the race. And this is the ranking for race number 2 in the Gold Series. We're going to update the scoreboard, give out the rules, and continue on to the medal race. It's going to be the top 10 for this medal race in F50, counting double. Right, so protest has been dealt with. Unfortunately for Von Pigeon, he is not going to make it into the medal race. Regis was denied. He did finish 33rd in that race number 4, which was a protest about, instead of 32nd. So he is at 80 points, and it's going to be Movimento Cinco Nodi with 79 points, being the 10th player. Meaning that the instructions to join the last medal race in the F50 has just been sent out. First warning signal is going to be at 1:15.
So 4 minutes left to go.
And that's it, 4 minutes left to go.
So,
start procedure has started.
It's fine. Yeah, it will be fine to see people fighting for the first position.
I think, I think Acer and 42 are gonna play like they normally play. I don't think they're the kind of players who are gonna back off and chill. I think they're very competitive, so they're gonna want to get that win for first. I mean, maybe 42 wants to be first overall, and maybe Acer wants to prove that he can keep this first place.
I believe there is enough wind for the players to just start from the bottom line. So if they get the time right, you see Lorenzo and Movimento Cinque Nodi both top corner.
Yeah, and 12 seconds to start. You'll see this kind of
maybe
start
they're a little bit
regularly
late.
with the F50. Well, you see Korikoi having to steer up and down to not do the false start. And it is a false start for Korikoi.
Penalty for Schleg and Kolikoi. Not good looking for the American. Look, KGR in the lead. I told you he was first. And Azir in second, third Lorenzo, fourth for Movimento Cinque Nodi. Harder and Jose Godi over there fighting for... this one will be insanely mad. And Parejo with 5th position. That would be fun.
This is going to be very interesting. KGR obviously wants to get that into the top 5. He has 73 points. If he can keep the lead that he had when first getting to that mark, that's going to put him at 75 points in total, which means that Schleg needs to be 3rd.
Penalty for Schleg. Harder in 10th position. Harder in 10th position means he's going to 81. Not enough for Movimento Cinque Nodi because he needs to win that. But definitely enough for Kolikoi and KGR maybe to have a look at it. This will be even tougher to understand. I mean, KGR with a win definitely is going in. Definitely. Means the only way Schleg can qualify is he has to be second. But you see, Movimento Cinque Nodi is really close with Azir and 42.
Yeah, Farley predicting KGR and Lyric. Lyric being 6th with 72 points overall and 6th in this race currently.
Because Parejo out?
Lead is
Something
quite
like that?
close. Well, Parejo is 61 currently 8th, so that's going to put him at plus 16 points. But he just jumped up to 6th. There are 2 penalties for Harder and Lyric.
Oh my god.
As Asir and KGR and Movimento Cinco Nodi have pulled away at the top of the screen over there, trying to get that wind pressure, trying to get that extra speed, but Jose Goody is not far behind.
This is tough, mate.
Yeah, it's
this is tough. It's KGR definitely in. Azir definitely in.
Movimento Cinco Nodi definitely in.
Yeah. And what about Goody?
Goody currently 4th in the overall. He is 9th with 79 points, or 9 points behind. 4th, that's put him to 8th.
This will be a mess.
9 and 10. It's going to be a battle till the end. I'm purposely
Movimento Cinco Nodi lose the position over Jose Goody. Trying to go to the right. KGR is there. Oh my god, this is so amazing. We have Azir in the lead, but Azir doesn't count. Jose Goody in 2nd position, that is tied up with Movimento Cinco Nodi. So who is going to be first is getting that position, but KGR also wants to be in, and is definitely marking really tight Movimento Cinco Nodi. He has look if Jose Goody can cross over the Japanese or not. If he not cross, he's barely going down. He's going to the ley line. Let's see what's going to happen here, because we have Movimento Cinco Nodi over there going really fast. Jose Goody really close. This will be an insane tight battle.
The last downwind for them, as their approach is going to be that reaching mark and then onto the finish line in this very quick race.
KGR has the right of way over Jose Goody. KGR has the right of way over Jose Goody. Schlag in the last position, Harder in the 2nd last. Lyric not really well. Probably Carlos Parejo in. Yeah, definitely Carlos Parejo in with the 5th position.
And that was touching the mark for Korikoi. Did not round it, has to go back to round it. That is very unfortunate for him.
I will say Harder out, Jose Goody in.
Yeah, and according to the ranking on the left, we have Acer, Jose Goody, KGR, Movimento Cinco Nodi, Carlos Parejo, 42, Lyric, Harder, Schlag, and Korikoi in 10th.
Actually, Harder 77 is going.
And well, we're gonna add this, tally up the scores. We're gonna see how this changes stuff. Who are going to be at the top 5? We'll see that in just a second. Once I have entered the score.
Azir.
You can see it on your screen with the new scoreboard. Asir has finished the competition very strongly, finishing 1st in the last 3 races. So Asir takes top spot for semi-final B with 50 points overall. 2nd place is the Italian of 42 with 61 points. 3rd position is going to be Carlos Parejo, joining his brother in the grand final with 71 points. Harder in 4th position with 77 points. And 5th position is going to go for KGR, the Japanese eSailer, with 79 points overall. And that's going to be our top 5, joining the initial 6 who have already qualified for the grand final. Let us just remind you who the 6 people are, who have already qualified. So 5 qualified from yesterday's semi-final A. That was Alex K, Chico Pimelo, Ramon Parejo, Farley, and Kazuki. Then 1 also qualified from steering the course. That is the Polish eSailer Aquila Antila. And then now we have these 5 players from semi-final B: Acer, 42, Carlos Parejo, Harder, and KGR. And we're going to have a 12th, or a 2nd wild card, for the grand final that's going to be chosen once we have more details with the grand final. Details will be shared on the World Sailing Discord server in due time. What can we say?
That was intense, mate. Much more funnier than the last one. The closest point were insane. Yesterday we have 38 for the first one, 81 for the last one. Here we have 50 and 79. So here is 29 points different. Over there was like over 40, almost 43 points. So you see, the level was higher in this one. I'm so happy that we have an amazing race, a great medal where everything could happen except for Azir and Lorenzo. We had some doubts for Harder. That was, kind of risking it. So sorry for Schleg that after an amazing start of the race,
he actually did the false start.
Yeah.
So that unfortunately screwed him up, and it's very hard in the F50 once you miss that start and reaching this first reaching mark. It's very hard to catch up if you're not already in the top, and if you're in the top, it's actually a lot easier to end up in a good spot when you round this mark first. Usually, this first mark is going to dictate a lot of what's going to happen later on the course. And well, we said it with KGR. KGR likes these fast boats like the F50, has a huge experience in these kind of events, and managed to clutch up at the end and score and reach the top 5 with 4 points ahead of number 6 for Hosegori.
So I have a question now.
Yeah.
I get 3 from the last one that were Kowalski, Farley, and Chico.
Yeah.
I get 3 from this one. There was Azere, Lorenzo, and KGR. What do I win?
So if you haven't seen, we've put this poll or survey, I'm not sure how to call it, that was available until 5 hours before the start of semifinal A, where you could pick 10 sailors that you think would make it to the grand final, and the top 3 closest would get some rewards being tokens and VIP. So I haven't looked at the results yet. Obviously, I didn't know who was gonna qualify first. So we'll look at the results on Monday. We'll share how people voted, what people thought, and everything. I think I had a sneak at it earlier, before semi-final, like Friday evening or something like that, and I think Acer and 42 were the 2 favorites at that stage, with the majority of people picking them. So both of them qualified 1 and 2. So a lot of people got that right. But we'll see for the rest. We got the 2 brothers, the 2 Parejo brothers. We got Harder. So we have a Pan Am and the eSailing World Championship Grand Final. We had KGR, obviously Alex K that we've seen several times. We had Shiko that we've seen in the OES. We had Attila Kula that was from STC. Farley that also has been in several of the grand finals, and well, basically every sailor, every grand finalist that has qualified has definitely earned it. But yeah, I think it's time for us to call an end for this stream. Any last words before we say goodbye?
Yeah, we will be giving the information as soon as possible regarding the final, and what we'll have, we will see each other in the amazing location that we are picking up for it.
That is great to hear. Well, this was Oscar, your host, with Alberto. Thank you all for joining and participating in the stream. Behind the scenes, you had Giovanni as principal race officer to start the races and get everyone into the arenas, and a big thank you also to Baptiste and Ginger for the protest committee and dealing with the protests. And well, thank you all for joining, and we'll see you on Friday evening for the Paris 2024 Inshore Cup Challenge 4, and on Saturday evening, 20 UTC for the Paris 2024 Inshore Cup. grand final. Well, see you all, and have a nice day.
Yeah, bye bye.